Hello everyone, I'm Tommy O, and this is Music with Purpose. Get ready for a wild ride. These are the Balkun Brothers, Nick and Steve. Well, let's take a break for just a moment. We're sitting back now, as you see. I want to hear more about where the music came from, where the instruments came from, but right now I almost got to take a shower. It was so greasy and swampy. Where do you kids get this? Is it?
Ooh, well,
the Connecticut River.
Yeah, the old dirty
the
Connecticut
river basin
River.
opens up right in Hartford, and that's where we soak it up.
I heard more Delta blues than PCB blues, but I'll... Where did it start? You guys are from Hartford.
We are.
And introduce just again your names.
My name is Steve Balkun.
I'm Nick, the Hammer Balkun.
The Hammer.
Yep.
And
We're the Balkun Brothers.
yeah, that's us.
Hartford guys.
That's
That's
it.
it. Born and raised right on Farmington Avenue in Hartford. I started playing when I was in high school. Nick started playing in high school too. But we actually didn't start playing together until 6 years ago, about after Nick graduated college, and I was off adventuring on my own adventures, and we both kind of found ourselves back in Hartford at the same point. Nick had learned how to play the drums, and I came back and was looking for a band, and it kind of just
Fell
happened.
into place. Yeah, we never really expected to, be taking it to this level and going and touring all over the world and whatnot. We just kind of needed something to do because we both weren't in our respective bands anymore. And one thing led to another, and we started a band, and we just booked as many shows as we possibly could and haven't stopped for the last 6 or 7 years.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
I dropped off the turnip truck last year, came from Europe, and the Balkun Brothers' name was on fire. I heard it everywhere, and I saw it at Meriden Daffodil Festival, and I can say, say that it was totally well deserved. Tell us that in the space of a very short time, you've done 3 tours in Europe?
Yeah. We went to Europe for the first time in the end of 2015, so
October, November.
yeah, and
We did 25 shows in 6 countries.
released a record on a European record label called Dixie Frog.
It was in France, is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
French label.
based in France. They brought us back over 2 times last year, once in the summer
As headliners.
and again in October, November,
Mhm.
this past, and we'll probably be going hopefully a couple more times this upcoming year. But yeah, it's a ton of fun going over there, and before these trips had never been overseas at all, so it was kind of let alone getting to play a whole bunch of music, and we actually got to experience new sights and culture and people, and
The culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see where actually America had pulled all its things, its
Yeah,
melting
right.
pot. You could see
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the actually distilled different villages where that type of thought has been.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Got to play in a lot of cool places. We've gotten a great reception over there for the music, so.
Tell me the tech on it. You didn't bring any of this gear, or did you bring your own amp set at one time during these?
No,
I was
I've-
looking at the videos.
No,
Trying
we
to guess.
most of the time when we go over there, we can only bring so much on a plane flight, So I bring a couple guitars. Nick brings whatever he needs to bring.
Yeah.
We get thoroughly checked at every security checkpoint.
For everyone's safety, it's all good.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, usually they have some sort of backline over there.
This last time I got a custom drum set from my sponsor, Treehouse Drums. They sent one to Germany for me, and I was playing that for the last tour, which was nice to have something a little more comfortable for touring with over there.
Yeah, because sometimes we show up and they've just found a drum set in a trash
backline kit.
in a trash can somewhere.
2 words, backline kit.
And, one of them just had washed up on the beach,
Right,
and there's
right.
It was
broken
going
cymbals.
back when it was stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it slid all the way across the stage.
But yeah, Nick had his nice drum set sent over this last time, and I bought an amplifier over there because all the circuitry is different and the voltages and all that stuff. So we just bought some equipment to just leave over there. So when we go back, we kind of have something reliable.
So the same touring companies or the production companies handling the record companies handling the
Yep,
logistics?
record companies.
Yeah,
So you're using their storage and all that.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
You're buy local at this point now. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Our second home base is now Paris.
If
Yeah. So it's pretty unreal.
if all goes down, in a downward spiral here in the United States, we're heading overseas.
At least
right.
you'll get health care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
And,
right.
and probably some kind of credit on taxes there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they support their art over there a lot. They really help their musicians out a little bit more than over here.
It's a
which is
quality of life
interesting to
issue. It's
see.
understood. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, it's part of their cultural investment, to
Do you think the French singled on you because of this? Well, your genre, besides of the energy that you bring. Are they real blues fans, or swamp blues. I'm still going down to the Delta with you guys. And
Yeah, I mean,
I'll get to your roots at some point.
they like it all over there. I think that there's a lot of great European artists and European bands that do American-styled roots music, blues and rock and roll and folk music and what have you. But when you go over and you're an American playing music, it's like people kind of pay attention a little bit more because, you know, people still are sort of finding out who we are, and we show up to places and people have never seen us before, but amazingly enough, people kind of just show up just because they heard, oh, there's an American band in town and they play blues and rock and roll. So, you know, it's almost like if we tried to make French crepes or baguettes over here, it's not quite the same thing as going over and getting one in Paris.
Yeah, we're a fine export. They like the entertainment from America.
Yeah. But
ambassadors of the culture too. Let's say it where as lofty as it could
absolutely.
be. Truly so, though.
Bringing the sounds, and even though, you know, we're not from the Mississippi Delta, we still, you know, we're still representing a sound and a genre, and it's certainly music born in the country. So
let me go back to that. Where did you did some traveling? Was it within as a troubadour sort of thing, or just working on oil rigs?
Well,
or something secret that you did for the government we can't. So I'm just wondering where you got this. Where you got the swamp vibe? The Connecticut River's got its own swampy flavor.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. But
you went down to Georgia.
Yeah, I lived in Georgia for a while. I lived in Boston for a while, which, you know, anytime you live in a big city, you're exposed to all sorts of different stuff. I've played all sorts of kind of music and all sorts of kind of bands, from funk to heavy metal to reggae to rock, and the blues really kind of came from the only place that was in Hartford that would let us play when we were, 16, 17, just starting to play, was Black Eyed Sally's, and they had their open jam, and they used to let us come and play there. So they were playing blues, and so kind of by default,
we learned it.
We just were like, all right, that's what they're playing here, and I got interested in it. Obviously, listening to like a whole bunch of Jimi Hendrix and
The Doors.
Yeah, The Doors and Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff like that. A little bit more modern blues. Eventually had to find out, like, what was Jimmy listening to? What were the Doors listening to? Where did all this stuff come from? And then you find out about Buddy Guy and Muddy Waters and Son House. And hearing Johnny Winter was a big one for me. I kind of got exposed to him when I was living in Boston. That was really what made me want to play slide guitar in the first place.
I'll say there's a broad stroke, a strength, or there's a daring to the slide that's very reminiscent of the late great Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. And he hearing his music was just like, oh man, if I could play like that, that would just be the tops for me, as far as blues and slide, but then figuring out where he got it all from, and listening to the guys that he got it from, and it really just continues to, there seems like there's always something more to uncover about it, and I just kind of started playing it and was digging, and it's really worked its way into sort of what we like to play. And
you found your voice. That's typically the phrase, I would imagine, but it's unique. It draws on so much of Americana that I think that it does sell very great. It will sell anywhere American music is revered, Western music.
Yeah.
So you might have a couple other. I can see Australia as next. So what drives you to go out to those places? Was that another happy accident like Black Eyed Sally's, or what brings you back to traveling?
We just get bored.
Yeah,
we get bored sitting
love
at
playing
home.
shows. I mean, it's nice to record in the studio. That's always fun, and we love making new music and jamming and practicing. But it's nice to get out there and
we like adventure,
have some energy from the audience, and
we like
see new places.
If you're gonna tell a story, you gotta go out and have stories to tell. So we like to go adventure and just find new places. Connecticut is home, but it's a small little corner of the world, It's
a small pond.
So,
you guys are getting bigger and bigger fish.
There's a lot to, we always represent Connecticut and Hartford wherever we go, but there's a lot to see out there. So
And the U.S. is huge. You go over to Europe and you cross over countries really fast, and you can drive from one to the next, and you realize that in the U.S. things take a lot longer, and you got to go further. So there's a lot more space to cover over here, and
To see differences of culture and
yeah, and just tons of venues and tons of people
and we
to play
love
for.
eating food. So there's so
you know,
much.
I was just getting a
there's so many
culture
different
through the stomach as well. There's
Yeah.
so much to learn. Well, French food, that's not too bad for
No.
being based in Paris. And
Yeah.
everything's going to be a step. Well, no offense to Germany and Britain, but everything's a step down from French food, is it not?
They did feed us pretty well. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
we didn't go hungry.
Well, we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes, and I know you guys have got a strong desire to be down in, was it Memphis or?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to be down there for the International Blues Challenge.
It's a challenge.
We're representing Connecticut. It's the largest blues competition in the entire world. People from almost, I don't know, there's like thousands of musicians that come down, people from every single state, from dozens of different countries all around the world. They all come down for 1 week and converge in Memphis, and there's a gigantic, it's a huge party, but there's a competition that goes along with it, and we're the duo representative from Connecticut.
Connecticut's soon-to-be champions in the world blues competition realm. I bet you in the solar system. I don't think Venus has many blues.
You never know.
That's a goal of ours. We'll get intergalactical at some point.
I think you're representing just fine. You're going to be intergalactic ambassadors, as much as anyone I can imagine. And glad to see there's another guy that some guitar players just can't stay still on stage.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I'd love to see that.
You guys kick it everywhere you go. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've been driving, yeah. Drive all night, gotta get home. Don't wanna leave my baby alone. Been driving all night. I need a little baby. I need a little mama. Love so good, need it right now. Got to get back my baby somehow. I need love. Been driving too long. I want you, baby. I want you, honey. I want you to be away from me when I get home. You're what I wanna see. I want you. Been driving too long. Driving, driving. Been driving, been driving. Woo! I gotta get back here. I gotta get back there. Get back there, back to you. I don't want to think that I'm untrue. Gotta get back, right back to you. I don't want you, baby. I don't want you, darling, now. Don't want you talking on the phone with another man while I'm gone. I don't want that. Been driving too long. Driving. Been driving. Been driving. Been driving. All right. Oh, thank you. Been driving.